Jai Hind learners, in the second video lecture, we are going to discuss about the analyzing competitors. In the last video lecture, we discussed a few topics here, like the question for discussion was how the marketers analyze competitors. And we know that it is very difficult to analyze, and we have taken some examples also. And here we can see the example, we have seen the examples of mobile service providers in India, and with the different marketing communications they try to differentiate themselves. We have seen the advertisement of Geo advertisement, we have seen Airtel advertisement, and we have also seen the Vodafone Idea advertisement. And we discussed how these different business organizations they try to differentiate themselves based on marketing communications. We also discussed that the identifying competitors, it is sometimes very difficult to identify. Though we know that these are the different competitors, like if you talk about the Coca-Cola, they know that their main competitors are Pepsi, Red Bull, Diet Pepsi, and like. But we have also discussed the example of Inventec. They emerged from nowhere. Inventec was the supplier of few companies, and finally they became competitor of those companies. So they could not imagine that from where the competitors have come. So you should be also prepared for that, that the how from the competitors may emerge from anywhere. We have also tried to understand that the competition can be we can understand based on the industry concept of competition and market point of view. In the industry concept of competition, we discussed that the industry is a group of firms that offer a product or class of products that close substitutes for one another. And we can understand the based on the number of an industry can be classified based on the number of sellers, degree of product differentiation, presence or absence of entry, mobility and exit barriers, cost structure and degree of vertical integration. So we try to understand that based on the number of sellers and degree of differentiation, there could be four types of market can emerge. That is pure monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition, and pure competition. And today we are going to discuss about the another part, that is entry, mobility, and exit barriers. That we are going to understand the industry concept. And we know that the industries differ greatly in ease of entry. Like if you take the example of restaurant, if you want to open one restaurant, that is you are going to you can open it very easily because the less investment will be there. But if you want to open on one aircraft industry, if you are going for the aircraft industry, that is very difficult to enter with so many formalities you are going to have. Apart from that, the big investment you need. In the same way, if you want to exit also, the restaurant you are just going to close it. But if you talk about the aircraft industry, you have taken loan from the different institutions. So that time your exit is also going to be difficult. Even if you talk about the mobility, like from one segment you are serving, and if you want to enter in the another segment, like Toyota in the British market, they were known for the middle class car. But finally, when they wanted to enter in the luxury segment, it was very difficult for them because the image was such. But they could use the innovative strategy, like they used the service provider, that the service center was excellent, and based on that basically they tried to they easily entered in that, but they were facing the difficulty of image. So sometimes mobility from one segment to the another segment also can be difficult based on the image, or the other factor also can be there. So cost structure also, it is very vital to understand the industry. Like each industry has a certain cost burden. If you take the example of steel making company, definitely the cost burden is very higher in manufacturing. But if you talk about the toy industry, definitely the manufacturing cost would be less. But you are going to invest more in the heavy distribution and the marketing cost. So based on that also we can understand the industry. The degree of vertical integration means the more the control you are going to have on the business processes. Like if you take the example of current example, if you want to take like the Indian pharmaceutical companies, they are basically they are dependent for the raw material to the Chinese companies, so they are dependent on China. Definitely once they are going to increase their manufacturing, so once they are dependent on that, so they have to look for whether raw material is available or not. Like if you take the example of DRDO, also recently they have they are going to start the 2DG, the medicine for the corona patients, and they also announced that they have sufficient raw material for the medicine. So that means they can manufacture as much they want. So that is the basically they have their view is different now, because if once they are dependent on another country or another companies, so they cannot say it boldly that we are going to manufacture this much amount, because sometimes the raw material may be stuck. But at the same time, if you are going to integrate more and more the processes, so the cost is also going to increase, and sometimes you may not be based in that. So that part also you should understand. Then the market concept of competition, using the market approach, competitors are companies that satisfy the same customer. If you talk about the Coca-Cola, if they are in the soft drink market, so they are going to compete the like Pepsi and all, but definitely they should also look for that the coffee bars and fresh fruit juice, they are also competitors, and even a glass of water, the simple water, that is also going to compete with that. So again, I'm going to remind the concept of marketing myopia. We should understand our competitors based on which need you are going to satisfy. Like I have taken the example earlier also, like I was talking that Indian film industry, they were thinking that they are different from the television industry, so they were hesitant to come on TV. But now you can see that they have realized that the film industry and the television industry both are the part of entertainment world. So you can see that even Amitabh Bachchan, Salman Khan, they are all, they can see, you can see them in the television, like Kaun Banega Crorepati, you can see Amitabh Bachchan, and then Salman Khan, you can see the Big Boss and all. There are so many entertainment program they have entered in the television world. So that part we should understand, that where you are going to compete. So then how we are going to analyze our competitors. So we can analyze our competitors based on strategies, objectives, strength and weaknesses. So if you define a strategy, that is a group of firms following the same strategy in the target market is called a strategy group. Here, suppose a company wants to enter the major appliance industry, they can develop they can develop a chart, and they may discover the groups based on product quality and level of vertical integration. So that is how we can do it. So here we can see that how it is. You can see here that these are the different strategy groups here. Like you can see the group A and group D. They are both at the extreme end. The group A is high on product quality. They are also high on vertical integration. And if you see the group D, they are low on vertical integration and low on product quality also. And you can see group B and C, they stand between the product quality and the vertical integration. So based on that, we can understand the strategy group, and after that, our understanding, we can develop our own position in the market. Then based on the objectives also we can so based on the objectives also we can do the, that is generally we used to believe that the generally the business organization uh, has the objective of profit maximization, but it is not always. uh, like Japanese company, they focus on the market share maximization model. But US company, they used to focus on the profit maximization in the short term. Like they want to show they want to build up the confidence of the shareholders, because they have invested the money, and if they are not satisfied, they can pull up their money back. They can pull their money back. And we can also understand the objectives of the company based on the expansion plans. Here we can see the example of Dell Computer, and here they initially entered in the personal computers for the individual users, and they can expand in the commercial and industrial and the educational sector. And further they can also expand in the hardware accessories and the software. So that also the with the expansion plan also we can understand the objectives of the business organization or your competitors, and based on that you can develop your own positioning. We can also look for the strength and weaknesses. A company needs to gather information on each competitor's strength and weaknesses. And we can take the example of a company survey that asks customers to rate its three competitors, that is A, B, and C, on 5 attributes. Here we can see it here, that customer ratings of competitors on key success factors. And here there are three competitors, competitor A, B, and C. And there are 5 attributes, that is customer awareness, product quality, product availability, technical assistant, and the selling staff. And we can see it here, the competitor A. The here you can see the grading here, that E stands for excellent, G for good, F for fair, and P for poor. So you can see this competitor A, they are excellent in customer awareness. They are also excellent in the product quality, but on product availability they are very poor. Technical assistance also they are poor, and selling staff they are good. And we can see the competitor B also, they are good in the customer awareness, product quality they are good, but in the product availability they are excellent, technical assistance good, and selling staff excellent. So based on these we can understand the based on that we can understand the strength and weaknesses of the competitors. We can also understand based on the share of market, share of mind, and the share of herd. The share of market is basically the actual share market in the targeted market, and share of mind is basically the percentage of customers who named competitor in responding to the statement. That is, name the first company that comes to mind in this industry. For example, if you are taking the toothpaste, if you are asking which company comes first in your mind, so sometimes they can say Colgate or Pepsodent or Promise or Close Up. So whatever it is coming, the more that is going to be converted into the percentage. And share of herd is basically the product, which brand they are going to buy. Like, name the company from which you would prefer to buy that product. So here you can say that share of herd is very important, because though you are having a product in your mind, but you are not going to purchase that one. If you are going to purchase that one, that will come under the category of share of herd. So how we are going to select the competitors? So we can select our competitors based on strong versus weak, close versus distant, and good versus bad. So generally, the business organization would like to select the weak competitors, but I'm also like in the opinion that the strong competitors are also having certain weaknesses. So we can identify that weaknesses, and if you see that that particular the competitor's weakness is your strength, so then you can also enter in that market. Another is close versus distant. So we can see that how we can take the example of this, like Chevrolet competes with Ford, not with the Ferrari. They are not going to also compete with Rolls Royce. So it also we should recognize distant competitors. That Coca-Cola states that its number one competitor is tap water, not Pepsi. So that also we should understand, because you are going to satisfy the same need. Because even if you are having glass of water, that can definitely substitute the Pepsi or Coca-Cola, or that is the natural requirement for a human being. And good versus bad, here the organization which may be good, and another company they may be bad. Like if you take the example of Tata, they are following all the ethical norms, and they are supporting when the country is in need. Like in the pandemic we can see that Tata is supporting in the oxygen supply of for the patients in India. So the companies which may not be following the ethical norms, I would not like to name those companies, but you know, and you can find out those companies, and basically